Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have the Nubia Z11 Mini S and the Moto G5 Plus. And both of these smartphones, both of these actually manufacturers claim that these are camera-centric smartphones. But again, how they go about is very different. On the Nubia, they have packed in a very high megapixel count. The rear-facing camera is a 23 megapixel shooter with the f2.0 lens, and the sensor is made by Sony. And even the front-facing camera sensor is made by Sony, and it's a 13 megapixel shooter. Whereas for the Motorola, this Moto is going with a 12 megapixel rear facing camera, but they have put a f1.7 lens. That means it can gather in a lot of light, and also the pixels are bigger, that is having a 12 megapixel sensor. Whereas the front facing camera on the Moto is just a 5 megapixel sensor. And I have taken a lot of sample shots with both these devices, and I'm going to show you that static pictures and even video. In terms of video, both can shoot video up to 4K, but I've shot samples at 1080p because the stabilization is not that great at 4K. So let me actually show you these sample shots, and then we can judge which one is a better camera-centric smartphone. On the left, we have the Moto G5 Plus, and the right, we have the Nubia. And in terms of exposure, I would say the Nubia did a lot better. The Moto, as you can see, the ground is sort of overexposed. But in terms of color accuracy, the Moto is closer to reality. The Moto's colors are sort of warm in nature, whereas the colors are sort of colder, bluish in nature on the Nubia. In this picture, as you can see, both of them actually do a good job in terms of color reproduction. But again, you notice that the Moto's picture, notice the ground is a lot more warmer compared to the Nubia. In this picture, again, you'll notice that the pictures are a lot more punchier on the Moto because of that warm color tone. But in terms of dynamic range, I would say the Nubia did a lot better job compared to the Moto G5 Plus. With both of them, we can do close-up shots, but again, I could go a lot closer with the Nubia. With the Moto, it was sort of blurring. But now let me actually zoom these pictures to get an idea how detailed those pictures are. Now I've zoomed in to both of those pictures, and I would suggest watch this picture in a full screen mode. And clearly here the Nubia is having an edge because of that 23 megapixel sensor. It can pack in a lot more detail, as you can see. Now moving to some other close-up macro shots, and I was surprised that the Nubia was also doing a very good job, as you can see from this sample shot. But one thing to remember is that both these devices, the Moto G5 Plus as well as this Nubia Z11 Mini S, don't have any laser autofocusing system. So focusing on these close-up objects can be a hit or a miss, and you have to try it multiple times. But in terms of the quality of bokeh, I would say the Moto would be the winner because of its f1.7 lens. The bokeh is just better done on the Moto G5 Plus. Now when we move to indoor lighting conditions, this was in my office. Here you can clearly see that the Moto is doing a far better job because it can simply gather more light because of its f1.7 lens, where the picture is actually a lot darker on the Nubia. Another picture taken in sort of low lighting conditions, and again here the Moto, as you can see, a picture is a lot better. You can even see the tables actually in the Moto's picture, whereas it's sort of muted on the Nubia. For this picture, I switched on one more light in my office. So typical office lighting conditions. And here I feel the Nubia did a far better job compared to the Moto. I was actually focusing on that AN autofocus and M switch that you can see on the lens. And the Moto picture is slightly blurry because I noticed that the Moto's shutter speed was actually pretty slow. But on the Nubia, the moment you click, it was taking the picture. So if you have decent amount of lighting, the Nubia was doing a far better job in my opinion. Some more samples in low lighting conditions, and as you can clearly see, the Moto is having an edge in low lighting conditions. The Nubia simply cannot stand up to the Moto's f1.7 lens. Now recording the video side by side, on the left I have the Moto G5 Plus and on the right I have the Nubia, and I've set them to 1080p. And both of them can record in 4K, but the stabilization won't be that great. Immediately you'll notice that the video is more wider on the Nubia and it's slightly cropped on the Moto G5 Plus. But let's see the focusing and the stabilization. First, let's just walk and you be a judge and let me know in the comment section which one do you think is doing a better job in terms of stabilization. And let's just walk back and let's do the focusing test also to see how well they focus when you move from a close-up object to a far object. For example, as you can see, the Nubia is in focus, the Moto is also in focus. Let's just move out. The Moto took some time to focus. Let's just again try that, and both of them are sort of focus. And when I move out, the Nubia is faster to focus back, I have to say. As you can see, this Moto now the leaf is in focus. And let's just move out. So the Moto does take a couple of seconds to focus back. That's what we are noticing. The Nubia is faster in focusing back. Shooting this video with the front-facing camera of the Nubia, and the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. As you can see, this is in outdoor settings. I'll also record a video in indoor lighting conditions so that you can judge the video quality with the front-facing camera. Shooting this video with the front-facing camera of the Moto G5 Plus, and the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. And as you can see, this is in outdoor lighting conditions. We'll also record a video in indoor lighting conditions to judge how's the video recording with this Moto G5 Plus. Moving to the front-facing camera, both do a good job, but I have to pick one winner. I would say the Nubia does it better. The skin tones definitely look a lot better on the Nubia compared to the Moto G5 Plus. Recording this video indoors in artificial lighting in my office with the front-facing camera of the Nubia. So this should give you an idea how will be the video recording in artificial lighting conditions. Here in my office I have mixed lighting, but let's just move out and see how it does when we have just one tube light. I have just one tube light over there. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the front-facing camera of the Nubia. I'm recording this video with the front-facing camera of the Moto G5 Plus in artificial lighting conditions, as you can see in my office. And the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. Here in this area of my office, I have sort of mixed lighting. Let's just move out and see how it does. Here in this room, I have just one tube light over there. So let's see. So this is a sample video with the front-facing camera of the Moto G5 Plus in artificial lighting conditions. So which is a better camera-centric smartphone, the Moto or the Nubia? Let's find out. I would say the results are sort of mixed. Let me go about it. I have seen the sample shots now, and I have to say if there is a lot of good lighting, that is in outdoor lighting conditions, I feel the Nubia is doing a better job. The details are much better with the Nubia, and also in terms of exposure, the Nubia gets it better compared to the Moto G5 Plus. Don't get me wrong, the Moto G5 Plus is not bad, but sometimes it tends to overexpose, especially in outdoor lighting conditions. Now, another thing that I have noticed is that in terms of shutter speed, the shutter speed is a lot faster on the Nubia. On the Moto G5 Plus, there is sort of a less than half a second lag when you click on the picture. So you have to have stable hands to get good picture quality, which is not the case with the Nubia. The shutter is definitely faster on the Nubia. But when we move to artificial lighting conditions and low lighting conditions, clearly the Moto G5 Plus has an edge, and that's thanks to the f1.7 lens. It can simply gather in a lot more light compared to the Nubia. So in artificial lighting conditions and low lighting conditions, my bet would be the Moto G5 Plus, as you have seen from the sample shots. And now, but when we move to the front facing camera, and this is specifically just for selfies, then I would give the edge to the Nubia. The selfies were simply better on the Nubia compared to the Moto G5 Plus. But when we talk about video performance, both can record video at 1080p and 4K. But in terms of stabilization, clearly the Moto G5 Plus has better stabilization compared to the Nubia. So if you are a person who shoots a lot of video, then definitely the Moto G5 Plus would be a better choice. But in terms of audio recording, I feel the Nubia did the audio recording far better. The audio was sort of clipping on the Moto G5 Plus. Maybe that can be fixed with the software update, but in terms of audio recording, the Nubia has an edge. So overall, I would say, considering the price point, both of them are selling for almost the same price. Yes, you can get the Moto for just 15,000 rupees. The lower end variant of the Moto is sold for 15,000, but the Nubia is sold only in one variant, that is at 17,000. And if I have to pick up one smartphone as an overall camera centric smartphone, then my vote would go to the Moto G5 Plus, because it does a lot better better in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, and also in video, the video performance was just far better on the Moto G5 Plus. Again, I have already posted the full in-depth review for the Moto G5 Plus, so you can check out that for more details. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.